You probably expected recycling to be the end of our shampoo bottles journey, but we are envisioning a circular economy, so the downstream and upstream side of the packaging value chain must be linked. This link represents the use of the recycled material of our shampoo bottle in a new product. Recycling only makes sense if recycled materials can be put into a productive use. However, a vicious cycle appears in the absence of policy intervention. Without stable and high demand for recycled materials, recyclers won't invest in infrastructure and research needed to create high volumes of high-quality and low-cost recyclates. Meanwhile, producers don't use recycled materials because they are unavailable, low quality, or too expensive. So how can this dilemma be overcome? Let's take the position of a manufacturer converting recycled plastics into new products to understand her problem better. Depending on the material value of the recycled plastics, our manufacturer could make anything from bottles made of PET or HDPE to flower pots made of polyolefins, one from yogurt pots, to fences made of melted down mixed plastics. As a profit-oriented private company, our manufacturer will make her business decisions under market competition. She needs to satisfy consumer demand while keeping input costs low. Of course, she has to produce within the state's regulatory boundaries as well. She also has her own conscience and leeway to design business decisions accordingly. The decision to use recycled plastics for production is therefore driven by the availability and cost of recycled plastics, available technology, the consumers' and manufacturers' awareness of the importance of recycling, as well as the regulatory frameworks. The cost for recycled plastics will be a large issue for our manufacturer. Unfortunately, secondary raw materials, that is, recycled plastics, are often more expensive than primary raw plastics. Primary plastics prices are bound to the oil price. At the same time, primary plastics benefit from continued high investments in their production facilities. In contrast, the price of recycled plastics is dictated by the cost of collecting and sorting waste. It cannot fall below these costs. Whenever oil prices fall, recycling industries face strong competition. EPR systems play an essential part in bringing down the cost of recycled plastics as they cover the collection and sorting costs of packaging. In addition, modulation of EPR fees, taking the content of recycled plastics and packaging into account, can bolster their demand. To effectively promote recycling, a more concerted policy effort is needed to reduce any unfair advantages primary plastics enjoy. Governments should cut subsidies connected to primary plastics production and shift these to recyclers and users of recycled plastics. For example, by providing tax benefits for products containing recycled plastics. Our manufacturer will require a reliable supply of high-quality recycled plastics. This supply is dependent on the consistent collection, sorting, and recycling of waste at high standards. Lacking supply of recycled plastics is a global problem, in stark contrast to the high volumes of primary plastics readily available. Even in Europe, 60% of plastics manufacturers state they find it hard or very hard to acquire recycled plastics in an acceptable quality. This issue is of course exacerbated in countries with nascent recycling systems. EPR schemes present a big step towards solving this problem, as they support the consistent and efficient collection, sorting, and high-quality recycling of packaging waste. They also improve the recyclability of packaging. The PRO's role in promoting coordination along the value chain is of particular importance as long-term commitments are needed to ensure adequate investments in recycling infrastructure. The PRO should promote arrangements which guarantee reliable quantities and composition of recyclable waste flows for sorters, recyclers, and manufacturers. In particular, this will be the case if the PRO must reach targets for recycling and use of recycled materials by packaging manufacturers. Both costs and availability of recycled materials are directly connected to the available technology. Research is urgently needed to develop new and more efficient recycling processes which can lead to the availability of lower cost and higher quality recyclates. For example, innovation will enable the recycling of more plastics and create new uses for recycled materials. Various streams of research are attempting to make recycled plastic safe for use in food packaging. EPR schemes should therefore come with investment requirements for research and development by the PRO. Its efforts should be complemented by a state-led research strategy and a global commitment to developing and sharing knowledge for recycling. Clear communication and awareness raising is needed among manufacturers and consumers to address these issues. Again, the PRO is in a great position to perform this task. Due to its coordinating role, it can enable the information flow between stakeholders. As recyclable material sales are part of its revenues, it has an interest in promoting market development for recyclates. Finally, it is bound to a legal framework which requires it to communicate with relevant stakeholders and reach targets for material recycling, as well as recycled material content in packaging products. Raising public awareness for products, including recycled materials, is necessary to boost their demand and can help converters adapt their products according to consumer preferences. Manufacturers can play their part by creating well-designed, safe, and hygienic products which consumers want to use. Thus, both need to make active decisions for packaging including recycled plastics. Certification schemes by governments and industries can significantly increase acceptance of products containing recycled materials. Germany's Blue Angel is a good example. By employing clear assessment criteria, which are easily understood by consumers, and an emblematic label, the scheme has become an important signifier for eco-friendly consumption, from paper to plastics to electronics. As you have seen, all these issues are fundamentally shaped by the regulatory environment. Regulations can support the rollout of products made from recycled materials, but often it is more of a barrier. In many cases, the use of recycled materials is banned for safety or hygienic reasons. For example, in the EU, recycled plastics can currently only be used in food packaging if it can be guaranteed that they were only used for food packaging in their previous life. Effectively, this stops materials such as HDPE and PP to be recycled into food packaging. Luckily, governments can also reset regulations to support production based on recycled materials and remove legal barriers to their use. Certification schemes can create the basis for these moves, ensuring high-quality recycling and product safety. This support can take different forms. For example, the EPR's legal framework and other regulations can require a percentage of packaging to be made from recycled plastics or even ban non-recyclable plastic items. Products containing recycled materials may further receive subsidies or tax benefits. Governments can also systematically favor recycled products in public procurement decisions. I hope you enjoyed this module. The expert voices will help you dive deeper into the topic. See you in the next video.